I chose love over my family. My name is Ethan Carter, and I was 28 years old when I made the biggest mistake of my life. I don't understand why you're doing this, my mother said as she stood in the kitchen. That girl loves comfort more than she loves people. I sighed. You don't know Lily. I know what I see, she replied. My father folded his arms. Your mother is trying to protect you. I don't need protection, I said. I need support. He looked straight into my eyes. Love without trust and values always ends badly. I laughed bitterly. You both have judged her from the beginning. We have watched you change, my mother said. You stopped seeing your friends. You stopped visiting your grandparents. Your whole life became about Lily. Because I love her. My father shook his head. No, son. You're obsessed. I grabbed my car keys. I'm tired of this conversation. Then hear one last thing, my mother said. If you marry her, you will regret it. I walked out without answering. 3 years earlier, I had met Lily Bennett at a coffee shop. She smiled at me and said, You look like someone who needs a friend. I laughed and replied, Do I look that lonely? A little. I asked her to sit with me, and we talked for 3 hours. That was how everything started. Lily was beautiful, confident, and charming. She always knew what to say. One evening, we sat beside a river. She smiled at me. Do you believe in soulmates? I didn't before I met you. She touched my hand. I think we were meant to find each other. I believed every word. Months passed, and my parents disliked her more and more. My mother once asked Lily, What do you want from life? Lily smiled. I want comfort. I want beautiful things. I don't want to struggle. There's nothing wrong with comfort, my mother said, but love is more important. Lily looked at me. I think both are important. The conversation felt strange, but I ignored it. Later that night, my mother said, she didn't talk about kindness or family. She only talked about comfort. I became angry. You always criticize her. I'm worried about you. I don't need your opinion. She looked hurt. I still remember her face. The arguments became worse. One night, my father said, You have to decide whether you want peace in this house. I stayed at him. Are you asking me to leave? I'm asking you to think clearly. I have thought clearly. Then why are you shouting every day? Because nobody respects my choices. My father sighed. You are my son. I love you. That is exactly why I'm worried. I packed my clothes that night. My mother followed me into my room. Please don't do this, she whispered. I'm moving out. You'll stop speaking to us over a woman. I'm choosing my future. She had tears in her eyes. You are choosing pride. I picked up my bags and left. For months, I barely spoke to my parents. I moved into a small apartment and spent nearly every evening with Lily. One day, I held her hand and said, I want to marry you. She looked shocked. Are you serious? I've never been more serious. Tears filled her eyes. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll marry you. I hugged her tightly. At that moment, I felt like the luckiest man alive. We planned a simple wedding because neither of us wanted a big ceremony. On the morning of the wedding, my phone rang. It was my mother. Are you sure about this? She asked. I closed my eyes. Yes. I wish things were different. They don't have to be different. You can come. She remained silent. Then she said, I love you, Ethan. I love you too. She hung up. A few hours later, I stood beside Lily and exchanged vows. She looked into my eyes. I'll always stand beside you. I smiled. And I'll always choose you. People clapped. I looked around and saw my best friend, Daniel Reed. He hugged me. You actually did it. I did. He grinned. You look ridiculously happy. I am. He patted my shoulder. I hope this works out. I laughed. Why does everyone keep saying that? Because marriage is scary. I smiled. Then I noticed a woman standing near the doorway. It was Lily's cousin, Emma Bennett. She looked uncomfortable. I walked over to her. Are you okay? She forced a smile. Congratulations. Thank you. She hesitated. Then she quietly said, I hope you know who you married. I frowned. What does that mean? She looked toward Lily. Nothing. No, tell me. She shook her head. It's your wedding day. Forget I said anything. I stared at her. She looked genuinely worried. For a moment, I felt something cold move through my chest. The wedding reception was small, but I did not care. Daniel handed me a drink. To the brave groom, he said, or the foolish groom, I joked. He laughed. I still remember when you first talked about Lily. You said she had the prettiest smile in England. I still think she does. Then I hope she keeps smiling at you for the next 50 years. I raised my glass. She will. A few minutes later, Lily walked over and wrapped her arm around mine. What are you boys talking about? She asked. How crazy I am, I replied. She smiled. You are a little crazy. Crazy enough to marry you. She kissed my cheek. Then I'm glad you're crazy. I looked at her and forgot everyone else in the room. Later, I stepped outside for fresh air. Emma followed me. I'm sorry if I upset you, she said. You did upset me, I replied. You sounded like you were warning me. She crossed her arms. Maybe I worry too much. Or maybe you know something I don't. She looked at the ground. Just take care of yourself, Ethan. I plan to. She nodded slowly and walked back inside. As I returned to the hall, I noticed my parents standing near the entrance. My heart almost stopped. My mother smiled sadly. My father gave me a small nod. I walked toward them. Nobody spoke for several seconds. Then my mother touched my face and said, You still look like my little boy today. Then Lily called my name. I turned and saw her smiling at me. I smiled back. I ignored every fear and every doubt. I looked at my wife and thought, I won. I had fought my parents, left my family home, and defended my relationship for 3 long years. Now I finally had the woman I loved. I believed love had conquered everything. 7 days of marriage. I woke up beside Lily on the first morning of our marriage and smiled. She opened her eyes and smiled back. What? She asked. I'm looking at my wife. She laughed softly. I like hearing that. I think I'm going to say it every day. She touched my cheek. Then I won't get tired of hearing it. I kissed her forehead. For the first time in years, I felt completely at peace. That evening, we sat on the couch together. I've been thinking, I said. About what? Our future. She smiled. I like the sound of that. I want us to buy a house one day. A big house. Not huge. Just enough for us. She leaned against me. And maybe a garden. I grinned. Exactly. She looked into my eyes. And children. I laughed. We've been married for 1 day. I'm serious. I wrapped my arm around her. Yes. One day I want children. She smiled. I want that too. I felt warm inside. Everything seemed perfect. On the second day, she woke me by kissing my cheek. Get up, she said. Why? Because I want breakfast. I smiled. So I have to cook. You are my husband now. I laughed. That sounds dangerous. She laughed with me. As I made breakfast, I looked at her sitting by the window. I thought, this is my life now. I like the idea. That night, I called Daniel. How's married life? He asked. Perfect. Already. I mean it. He laughed. You sound different. I feel different. You sound like a man who has won the lottery. I think I have. I heard him chuckle. I'm happy for you. Thanks. Don't disappear on me. Married men do that. I won't. Good. I still expect you to answer my calls. I laughed. I promise. On the third day, things changed slightly. I woke up and noticed Lily looking at her phone. She smiled at the screen. Who are you talking to? I asked. She looked up quickly. Oh, nobody. Nobody. She laughed. A friend. I nodded. Who? She locked her phone. You don't know her. The answer surprised me. She had never hidden her phone before. Still, I said nothing. That afternoon, she left the apartment. Where are you going? I asked. To meet friends. Anyone I know. She smiled. No. Okay. Have fun. I will. She kissed my cheek and walked out. She returned hours later. Did you have a good time? I asked. Yes. Where did you go? She placed her bag on the table. Just around town. I smiled. That sounds mysterious. She laughed. I guess it does. I laughed with her, but something felt different. On the fourth day, I found her sitting alone in the bedroom. She was staring at her phone again. "Everything okay?" I asked. She almost jumped. "Yes." "You look nervous." "I'm not nervous." She quickly put the phone away. I sat beside her. "Are you sure?" She smiled. "I'm fine." I nodded, but I did not feel convinced. That evening, I met Daniel for coffee. He looked at me carefully. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." He frowned. "You're lying." I laughed. "No, I'm not." "You have that face." "What face?" "The face you make when you're worried." I looked away. Maybe I'm tired. Or maybe something happened. I sighed. Lily has been acting strange. His expression changed. "What kind of strange?" "I don't know." "You don't know?" "She's spending a lot of time on her phone." He raised an eyebrow. "And?" "She's gone out several times to meet friends." "So?" I looked at him. "So nothing." He studied my face. "You don't sound convinced." I rubbed my hands together. "I probably sound stupid." "No, you sound worried." I shook my head. "I trust my wife." He nodded. "Then trust her." "I do." He smiled. "Good. Don't create problems that don't exist." I smiled back. "I won't." I wanted to believe my own words. On the fifth day, I ran into Emma near a bookstore. She looked surprised. "Ethan." "Hi. How's married life?" I smiled. "Pretty good." She looked at me for a moment. Then she asked, "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Has Lily mentioned someone named Victor Hayes?" I frowned. "Who?" "Victor Hayes. I've never heard that name." She looked uncomfortable. "Never." I shook my head. "No." She became quiet. "Why are you asking?" "It's nothing." "That doesn't sound like nothing." She looked around nervously. "I shouldn't have asked." "Emma." She sighed. "Forget it." I stared at her. "Do you know him?" She hesitated. "A little." "Is he a friend of Lily's?" She did not answer. "Emma." She forced a smile. "Congratulations on your marriage." Then she walked away. I stood there, completely confused. Who was Victor Hayes? And why had Emma looked so worried? I tried to forget the conversation. I told myself I was imagining problems. On the sixth day, Lily spent nearly the entire evening with her phone. I sat beside her. "You're popular this week." She smiled. "I guess I am." "Same friend." She looked at me. "Why are you asking?" "No reason." She returned her attention to the phone. I watched her face. She looked excited. I suddenly felt like a stranger sitting beside my own wife. On the seventh evening, I woke up during the night. The bedroom was empty. I heard soft laughter in the living room. I got out of bed and walked quietly toward the door. Lily stood near the window with her phone. She smiled as she spoke. "No, I miss you too." I stopped moving. She laughed again. "I can't wait to see you again." My heart suddenly felt heavy. There was silence. Then she smiled one more time. "Tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow." She ended the call. I remained in the hallway. My stomach dropped. 100 questions entered my mind. Who was she talking to? Why did she miss that person? And why couldn't she wait to see them? I wanted to walk into the room. I wanted to ask everything. But I was afraid. I was afraid that one answer could destroy the happiness I had fought so hard to protect. She walked away. I came home that afternoon feeling normal. I opened the door and called out, "Lily." No answer. I frowned and walked inside. The silence felt strange. I walked into the bedroom first. Half the closet was empty. Her clothes were gone. My heartbeat slowed. No, this can't be right. I checked the drawers. Empty. I rushed back to the living room. "Lily." I shouted again. Still nothing. Then I saw it. A small white paper on the kitchen table. My hands shook as I picked it up. I read the first line. "I can't live a simple life anymore." My chest tightened. I kept reading. "I deserve more than this." My voice broke. "What are you talking about?" I forced myself to continue. "I've met someone who can give me the life I want." I froze. "No." I read the name again. "Victor Hayes." I whispered it. "Victor Hayes." My legs felt weak. I dropped into a chair. "This is not real," I said to myself. I grabbed my phone and called her. It rang. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. Pick up. Please pick up. I called again and again. Nothing. My hands started shaking. I texted her. Lily, where are you? No reply. I stood up and paced the room. This is some mistake, I told myself. Then my phone rang. I rushed to answer it. Lily. Her voice came cold. Yes. Where are you? What is this note? Silence. Then she said, It's over, Ethan. My knees almost gave out. Over? What are you saying? I'm with Victor now. I felt like air left my body. You're joking, right? I'm not. My voice cracked. What about us? What about us? She repeated. Yes, our marriage. She laughed softly. Ethan, be serious. I shouted. We were married for 1 week. I know. Then how can you say this? Her tone stayed calm. Because I finally chose my future. My throat burned. So I meant nothing to you. She paused. Then she said, Not enough. My eyes filled with tears. Lily, please come home. I'm already home. I whispered, Where? With someone who understands me. My hands tightened around the phone. Does Victor understand you better than I do? Yes. The word hit me like a slap. I sat down on the floor. My voice dropped. Was any of it real? Silence again. Then she said, Goodbye, Ethan. No, wait. The line went dead. I stayed at the phone. No. I called again. Blocked. I threw the phone on the couch. My breath came fast. I can't breathe. I held my chest. This isn't happening. I looked around the house. Every corner felt empty. Every memory felt fake. I saw our wedding photo on the shelf. I picked it up slowly. We were smiling in it. I whispered, Why did you do this to me? My legs gave out. I sat on the floor holding the frame. Hours passed. I didn't move. I just kept staring. I left my parents for you, I said quietly. No answer. I fought everyone for you. Still silence. My phone rang suddenly. I rushed to it. Lily. No. Daniel. I answered quickly. Daniel. Ethan. You okay? My voice broke immediately. No. Where are you? At home. I'm coming. I didn't respond. I just dropped the phone. Sometime later, the door opened. Ethan. Daniel's voice echoed. I didn't move. He found me sitting on the floor. He knelt down. Bro, what happened? I pointed at the table. He saw the note. He read it. His face changed. Oh my God. I whispered. She left me. He grabbed my shoulder. I'm so sorry. I shook my head. I don't understand. He stayed quiet. I finally said, Call her. I will. He tried. No answer. I closed my eyes. I lost her. Daniel said, This isn't your fault. I laughed painfully. Then whose fault is it? He didn't answer. Hours passed again. Night came. Daniel stayed with me. I kept staring at the ceiling. Then I whispered, Call my mom. He froze. What? I need to call her. He gave me the phone. My hand shook as I dialed. The phone rang. My mother answered. Ethan. I broke instantly. Mom. Her voice changed immediately. What happened? I could barely speak. She left me. Silence. Then she said softly, Come home, son. That was it. Those words destroyed me. I covered my face and cried. For the first time in years, I didn't fight it. I just cried like I had nothing left. And in that moment, I finally understood. I had pushed away the only people who never would have left me. Picking up the pieces, I went back to my parents' home the next morning. I stood outside the door for a long time before knocking. When my mother opened it, her eyes widened. Ethan. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. She pulled me inside. My father was sitting in the living room. He stood up slowly. For a second, I expected anger or judgment, but he just walked toward me and hugged me tightly. Welcome home, son, he said quietly. That broke something inside me. I whispered, I'm sorry. My father held me tighter. No need to talk right now. My mother wiped her eyes. We're just glad you're here. I pulled back slightly. I don't deserve this. My father shook his head. You're our son. That was all he said, but it hurt more than anything else, because I knew I had pushed them away for someone who didn't stay. Days passed in silence. I stayed in my old room. I couldn't sleep. Every night I kept repeating the same thoughts. Why did she leave? Was I not enough? Did I miss something? I would sit on the bed and stare at the wall. My phone stayed silent. No calls. No messages. Only silence. One afternoon, I went out for a walk. I heard whispers as I passed people. That's him. The one whose wife left. I kept walking. My hands tightened into fists. I don't want anyone's pity, I muttered. But it still hurt. At night, I came back exhausted. My mother knocked on my door. Ethan, eat something. I'm not hungry. You need to eat. I said I'm fine. She opened the door anyway. She placed food on the table. Just a few bites. I didn't respond. She sat beside me. I know you're hurting. I finally looked at her. I was stupid. She shook her head. No, you were in love. That's not an excuse. She stayed quiet. I couldn't sleep again that night. I kept replaying Lily's voice in my head. It's over. Weeks felt like months. Then one evening, someone knocked. I opened the door. Emma stood there. My body froze. You? She looked nervous. I needed to see you. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly. My father nodded at her and left the room. I closed the door. What do you want? She looked down. I owe you the truth. My heart tightened. I already know the truth. No, she said. You don't. I sat down. Then tell me. She took a deep breath. Lily didn't meet Victor after your marriage. I frowned. What? She was already involved with him before you got married. My hands went cold. No. Emma continued. She only married you because Victor was with someone else at the time. I felt sick. She thought he would leave his girlfriend. I whispered, and he did. Emma nodded slowly. And when he did, she left you. My vision blurred, so I was just a backup. Emma didn't answer. That silence was enough. I stood up. My voice rose. So my marriage was a plan. She looked guilty. I'm sorry. I laughed, but it hurt. I fought my parents for this. I know. I destroyed my life for this. She stepped back. I should have told you earlier. I turned away. Get out. Ethan, get out. She left quietly. I slammed the door after her. Then I punched the wall. Pain shot through my hand. But I didn't care. I was nothing, I whispered. For days, I couldn't think straight. I kept imagining finding Lily, telling her everything she destroyed, ruining her new life. One night, I told Daniel, I want to confront her. He looked at me seriously. And then what? I want her to feel what I feel. He shook his head. That won't fix you. It will make me feel better. Only for a moment. I didn't respond. He sighed. You're not thinking clearly. I don't care. You will later. I walked away, but his words stayed with me. A week later, my company called me in. They said a counselor was visiting for employee stress support. I didn't care. I went anyway. The counselor introduced herself. Hi, I'm Sarah Collins. I didn't look at her. She spoke calmly. You look exhausted. I'm fine. She tilted her head. No one who is fine sits like that. I stayed silent. She asked, what happened? I almost laughed. My wife left me. That's it. I looked at her sharply. That's it. She nodded slowly. Then tell me everything. I hesitated. Then I spoke. For the first time, I didn't hold anything back. When I finished, she stayed quiet for a moment. Then she said, you're carrying revenge because it feels like control. I frowned. What? You want control over pain you didn't choose. I didn't respond. She leaned forward. But revenge won't give you control. It will keep you stuck. I looked away. She continued. Right now, you have two choices. Stay in this moment, or rebuild yourself. I laughed bitterly. Rebuild what? Your life. Silence. For the first time, I didn't have an answer. That night, I didn't think about Lily. I thought about my father's hug, my mother's tears, Daniel staying beside me. I didn't sleep well, but I didn't break either. Something inside me had started to shift. Slowly, quietly. For the first time, I stopped chasing her shadow and started thinking about myself again. The fool of their perfect life. Months passed after everything fell apart. I didn't heal overnight, but I started changing. At work, my manager called me into the office. "Ethan, we've been watching your performance." I nodded. "Yes." He smiled. "You're getting promoted." I blinked. "Promoted?" "Yes. You've handled everything well these past months." I didn't know what to say. "Thank you," I finally said. Walking out, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Pride. That night, I called my father. "I got promoted." There was a pause. Then he said, "I'm proud of you, son." My throat tightened. "Really?" "Always have been." I closed my eyes. "Thanks, Dad." We started talking more after that. Small things first. Dinner, weather, old memories. Then slowly, I started going home every weekend. My mother always smiled when I arrived. "You're eating better," she said once. "I guess I am." She touched my cheek. "You look calmer." I nodded. "I feel different." Daniel came over one evening. He looked at me carefully. "You're not the same guy anymore." I laughed. "Is that good or bad?" He smiled. "Good. Definitely good." We started hanging out again. Coffee, football, late-night talks. One night, he said, "You finally came back." I looked at him. I think I did. For the first time in years, I felt peace. Not happiness, but peace. Then everything changed again. My phone rang one afternoon. Unknown number. I answered. "Hello." It was Emma. "Ethan, we need to talk." My body tensed. "About what?" "Please just meet me." I hesitated. Then I said, "Fine." We met at a quiet cafe. She looked stressed. Her hands were shaking. "What happened?" I asked. She took a deep breath. "It's Victor." My heart slowed. "What about him?" "He lost everything." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "There was a business scandal. Investors found fraud issues. He's being sued." I stayed silent. Emma continued. "His company is collapsing." I leaned back. "And Lily?" Emma looked down. "She's with him." I felt nothing at first. Then I said, "So she chose him." Emma nodded slowly. "He was rich. Now he's not." I laughed bitterly. "Funny how that works." She didn't smile. "She's struggling." I stayed quiet. Emma added, "They've sold their apartment. They are barely surviving now." I looked out the window. So the perfect life wasn't perfect. She shook her head. "No." I stood up. "I don't care anymore." Emma looked surprised. "You don't?" I looked at her. "No." And I meant it. Days passed. Then another message came. "Lily, I need to meet you." I stayed at the screen for a long time. Then I replied, "Okay." I didn't go because I still loved her. I went because I needed closure. We met at a small park. When I saw her, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked tired. Her eyes were red. Her clothes were simple now. No confidence. No smile. Just fear. "Ethan," she said softly. I nodded. "Sit." She sat down slowly. Silence stretched between us. Then she said, "I made a mistake." I didn't answer. She looked down. I thought money was everything. Still silence. I thought Victor would give me a better life. I finally spoke. "And did he?" She shook her head. "No." Her voice broke. "Everything is gone." I looked at her carefully. She wasn't the same woman I married. Not even close. She continued. "I lost everything. Him, money, stability." I said quietly, "You chose that." She looked up quickly. "I know." Tears formed in her eyes. I was wrong. I stayed silent. She wiped her face. I thought I was smart. I thought I was choosing better. I leaned back. "You chose fast, not better." She nodded. "Yes." Then she said the words I expected. "Can we start over?" I froze. "Start over?" "Yes." I realize now. You were the only one who truly cared. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And I didn't feel love. Not anger either. Just distance. "I don't know you anymore," I said. She blinked. "What?" I said, "I don't know you." Her lips trembled. "I'm still me." "No," I said softly. "You're not." She shook her head. Please, Ethan. I stood up slowly. I came here for closure. Her voice broke. Please don't leave me like this. I looked at her one last time. You left me first. Then I turned away and walked out without looking back. For the first time, I didn't feel broken. I felt free. The man I became. I sat across from Lily and stayed silent for a long time. She looked down at her hands. I didn't think it would end like this, she whispered. I didn't answer. My mind went back to everything. My parents' warnings. My father's calm voice. My mother's tears. And me ignoring all of it. Lily looked up. I made a mistake, Ethan. I finally spoke. You made several. Her eyes filled with tears. I know. Silence again. She wiped her face. I regret leaving you after only 1 week. I leaned back in my chair. 1 week was all it took. Her voice broke. I thought Victor was my future. And I was what? I asked quietly. A backup. She shook her head fast. No, I didn't see it like that. But that's what I was. She looked away. I miss you, she said softly. I stayed quiet. She continued. I miss the way you loved me. I miss how safe I felt with you. I felt something in my chest. Not love. Not anger. Just sadness. I loved you fully, I said. She nodded. I know. Then I added, maybe too fully. She looked confused. What do you mean? I looked at her directly. I ignored everything for you. My family. My friends. My own judgment. She stayed silent. I continued. I thought love meant choosing one person over everything. I shook my head slowly. I was wrong. She whispered, so was I. For the first time, I saw her not as the woman I loved, but as someone lost. She reached forward slightly. Can we fix this? I didn't move. Fix what? Us. I sighed. There is no us anymore. Her eyes widened. I can change. I shook my head. Changing isn't the issue. What is? Trust. Silence fell between us. Then I said something I never thought I would say. I forgive you. She froze. You do? Yes. Her face softened. But I can't go back. Her lips trembled. Why not? Because forgiveness doesn't rebuild trust. She looked down. I understand. I stood up slowly. I wish you peace, Lily. She whispered, is that goodbye? I nodded. It already was. She didn't stop me when I turned away. I walked out of that place feeling lighter than I had in years. Not happy, but free. I went home that evening. My parents were in the kitchen. My mother looked up. You're back early. I nodded. Yeah. My father placed a plate in front of me. Eat. I sat down. We ate in silence for a moment. Then I spoke. I need to say something. They both looked at me. I swallowed. I'm sorry. My mother shook her head. You don't need to keep saying that. I do. My voice tightened. I pushed you away. I stopped listening. I thought I knew better. My father leaned back. You were young. That's not an excuse. My mother reached for my hand. We never stopped loving you. That hit me harder than anything else. My eyes lowered. I know now. A pause. Then I added, thank you for not giving up on me. My father nodded once. That's what family is for. That night, I called Daniel. I'm sorry I disappeared from you. He laughed lightly. You alive. That's enough. I mean it. I know, he said. And I'm glad you're back. Then I called Emma. She answered carefully. Ethan. Yeah. Silence. Then I said, thank you. For what? For telling me the truth. She exhaled. I should have done it sooner. You did it when I needed it most. She didn't reply for a second. Then she said, take care of yourself now. I will. Weeks later, I stood outside my parents' house at night. The air was calm. The lights were warm behind the windows. I thought about everything. Lily, the marriage, the betrayal, the pain, and then I thought about something else. My father opening the door without judgment. My mother holding me when I broke. Daniel staying when I had nothing left. Emma telling me the truth even when it hurt. I whispered to myself, I lost her. Then I corrected it. No, I didn't lose my life. I looked at the house behind me. I got it back. For a long time, I just stood there, understanding something simple. Love is not blind loyalty. Love is not abandoning yourself. And love is never supposed to take you away from the people who truly stand by you. I closed my eyes. 1 week destroyed my illusion, I said softly, and saved my future. When I opened my eyes, I felt different. Not broken, not lost, but finally, steady. Finally, myself.